Leah was a teenager living in New York. She was a competitive athlete in high school, and with recruiting season a year away, she was under tremendous pressure to perform well in her sport as well as in the classroom. She was struggling to keep up with calculus at the time, so her mother suggested that she get a tutor. Leah had been going to him regularly, probably 3 times a week for a month, before she met Josh. Josh had the tutoring session after, and they would cross paths every week. It had never been more than a glance and a smile, as she was incredibly shy and terrified of boys. One day, her tutor had to change his schedule and decided to book them together. Leah was shocked and delighted when Josh started chatting with her afterwards and asked for her phone number. Eventually, they both began dating. Josh went to a Catholic school in another town, but because he lived in the same town as Leah did, he took the bus every morning from her school to his. This gave them most mornings together, and he was able to meet Leah's friends. She was a little taken aback when they didn't seem to like him. Leah realized that she's been spending less time with them and assumed they were just jealous that she had a boyfriend. As time went on, things got more serious in the relationship, and that's when things began to change. While they always talked regularly, Josh started getting over the top about staying in contact with Leah. He would make her stay on the phone with him all hours of the night until eventually her mom started taking her phone away before she went to sleep. This relationship also started taking a toll on her athletic career. She was too tired to spend extra time training and started to skip practices to see him, driving 30 minutes each way to his school. Eventually, Leah's friend sat her down and told her how unhealthy this relationship had become. She had isolated herself from them, and her entire free time was spent with Josh. At this point, Leah wanted so badly to end the relationship. She had fallen out of love with him, and college applications were approaching. She had been scouted by no less than 10 colleges, and her plan was to attend Brown University, her dream school. Josh's obsession with their relationship had taken a huge toll on his grades, and Brown wasn't going to be an option for him. Leah remembered telling him that was where she was planning on going, and he freaked out, saying that he would never get in, and he begged her not to go. At the time, she was also recruited by the University of Illinois. Josh applied there in hopes that she would ditch Brown and go to Illinois with him. But that was the final straw. Leah ended things for good with Josh, assuming that would be it. Because he would take the bus from her school to his every morning, she still had to see him. His friends who took the bus with him yelled disgusting words at Leah. Josh had spread a rumor that Leah had apparently cheated on him with a bunch of guys and then ended the relationship. Leah spent months getting nasty messages accusing her of having STDs and also saying some horrifying things. Unfortunately, deleting Facebook was what set off the stalker tendencies for Josh. He wasn't able to see her face online anymore, so he started calling non-stop and sending desperate messages telling Leah that he loved her. While all of this was going on, Leah and her team was set to win the high school championship in volleyball. Josh showed up while Leah was competing and they saw each other. This shook Leah so badly that she ended up losing the title for her team, and it made her furious and heartbroken. Leah ended up picking up his call that same night and screamed at him, telling him to never contact her again. But that's when the threats began. She got a call a few nights later from Josh. After he texted her, he had something important to tell her. Stupidly, she answered, and he began to say how he was going to kill her. He was going to show up at Leah's house when her parents were at work, holding a rope and a knife, and make her suffer like she had done to him. He eventually went on to say he was going to get her before she went into school because he knew exactly where she parked every morning, and her parents were never going to find him. But what Josh didn't realize was that she had recorded what was being said the entire time and had it taped onto her phone. Leah hung up once she felt he'd said enough. The next morning, she went into school extra early, much earlier than she figured he'd be there. Leah showed the school advisor the recording. She felt a deep-rooted shame as her mom listened to the recording like she had done something to bring this onto herself. The advisor was so alarmed that he told her to go to the police immediately. Leah and her mother sat in the police station all day explaining the story of her relationship with Josh and how it got to this point. The police then drove to his high school and arrested him while he was in class. As she was bringing food back to the police station for herself and her mom, she saw Josh in handcuffs, and he indeed looked like he wanted to kill her. Post-arrest, Leah got a restraining order against Josh, and he was sent to a mental institution for a short while. It's been 10 years since this happened. Leah moved across the country where this occurred, and she finally feels safe now that she's far away. But anytime she gets a blocked call or text from a number she doesn't know, a thought goes through her head that it's him.